we saw huge amounts of increases in stock in 2020, so rental prices had to drop in order for landlords to get their properties rented. The reverse of that, out the other side of COVID, was all of that demand that had been locked down at home came back out, and people returned to London, people returned to work. We could never catch up with supply, and therefore rental prices over the last 12 months have got up 20-odd%. So it's a newsworthy story if you take 12 months, but if you take 4 years, it's not. It's in line with what we've seen before. And I think the only tricky thing that we're going to have now is that we've now hit this level of rental supply in terms of the available properties that just can't change overnight. 80% of our tenants are renewing, so they're staying where they are.
And I was at a conference the other day with house builders, and they were talking about developing in London, and planning permission is obviously a big problem, but the cost of materials have gone up over 25% recently. So for them, their margins are getting smaller and smaller each time.
But I think there is, there are lots of planning issues around, particularly in London. I mean, that is the sort of number one thing that is stopping it, is that there is no centralised planning system in London. And we've had, I think, 14 housing ministers in the last 7 years, something ridiculous like that. And until we sort of get that sorted, then you're not going to get the number of houses that they want out of the ground.
And if government continue to push legislation on private landlords that scares landlords away from the market, there is a danger off the back of it that you're only going to see that stock levels continue to be at the same level and worst case scenario drop, and then you've got a much bigger problem in terms of tenants not having anywhere to rent.
Yeah.
In addition to that, clearly you need a property manager that looks after a landlord's asset proactively, what a landlord needs to be doing to make sure that their property is fit for purpose and is safe for a tenant. And there is a lot around the rental reforms and the white paper that we have all read in detail that actually is very, very positive, because I think we are all fans of anything that promotes a safe and decent home for a tenant to live in.